Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. We're the Marine Riders of Michiana, and we're starting a podcast here. This is episode number 1. We'll be talking on here about the history of the Marine Corps, everything Marine Corps, the history of the Marine Riders of Michiana. We'll have featured guests on, veterans that can talk about their stories. Also, we're going to talk on this podcast about suicide awareness and prevention. It's a very important topic to us, and so it will be featured quite a bit. This is my co-host. This is Euchre.
Hi, I'm Euchre. We're vets helping vets. We like to ride motorcycles, and we ride a lot.
Here we are inside the clubhouse. This is Euchre and myself. We're going to talk a little bit about, first off, about how this idea came about. There was a guy in our club named Murdoch who kind of took me in under his wing when I was first FNG, and to be a Navy guy and come into a Marine Corps clubhouse, I was awe-inspired by this place the first time I walked in. It took my breath away. I mean, you'll see the things in the back room here with the names of the battles and things like that. This place truly is a shrine to the United States Marine Corps, and I think it's just awesome, So Murdoch was real nice to me, and then Murdoch got sick, and Murdoch passed. And when Murdoch passed, I thought, there go all those stories. They're just gone with Murdoch. By the way, I'm not going to let that happen. We're going to do an episode about Murdoch down the road, and we'll stay tuned for that. But so Murdoch, I thought, it's a shame we can't archive veteran stories for future generations. I wanted a co-host that was a Marine. A Marine's Marine, an 0311. That's where this guy comes along, okay? This dude's solid as they get, all right? So we're going to be talking about, upcoming news, events, things like that, the history of the Marine Riders, and then we'll tell you a little bit about myself and him, and then Sergeant Sykes going to be coming on a little later this afternoon, and we'll talk about that.
Cool, icebreaker.
Icebreaker to the first one of these.
Boom.
Here we go. Can't set it down, got to take a sip, remember?
Boom.
There we go. I'd like to talk about upcoming events we got going on, and then I'll get in a little bit about my story. So we've got 3 things coming up in June. We've got a poker run here at the clubhouse on the 14th. And we'd like all people to show up. You don't have to have a motorcycle to come to the poker run and donate to the club, because we're, like we said, we're vets helping vets. We're involved with Troop Town and Miller's Vets, and we help with those things, but I'm getting a little over my skis here. We have an iron butt run, and I've wanted to do this for 30 years, and
this is going to be good.
Duke and I are going to do it together, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
1,000 miles?
Yeah, 1,000 miles. We're going to go around Lake Michigan. No sleep till Brooklyn, okay? We are going to make it the whole way, rock and roll. We both started working out. That's a whole nother thing. But the Iron Butt, we're excited. We're going to go around Lake Michigan in less than 24 hours. 1,000-mile run. We ride motorcycles and we like to ride. Here you go. We're going to take you along for that too, hopefully. So those are upcoming events in June. A little bit about myself. They call me Doc because I was a hospital corpsman in the United States Navy. Back in the last century, I was in during peacetime. My service was probably, honestly, C. I didn't do any combat deployments. I did deploy twice, okay? But I call them vacations, not deployments, because, I went to Rota, Spain for a year, then I came back and home ported, and then I went to Guam for a year. So after that, I got out and I worked in a medical laboratory in Chicago for a few years, until I decided that really wasn't for me, and I moved on from there. I came home, and after I lived in Chicago, I came home and I saw the Marine Riders, I want to say 10 years ago, at an event. And I told them that I was a Navy corpsman, and they used to call me Doc. And they gave me a challenge coin, and I thought, that's pretty cool, And then I didn't know anything else about the Marine Riders until, I started working with Guns. And Guns was like, man, you should come around, They'd love to have you. Because Navy corpsmen are the only naval persons that they will allow into the Marine Riders. Marine Riders Michiana, any of the Marine Riders, the ones out west as well. So it's been a great honor to be part of this club. And a little bit of the background of why the Marines let Docs into the club. Navy corpsmen, Docs. Doc is a term of endearment that the Marines and the Seabees, the Greenside troops, will give to their corpsmen when they respect it. Because Doc goes right along with the Marines. They train with the Marines, they fight with the Marines, they live and they die with Marines. More Medal of Honor recipients have been Navy corpsmen than any other MOS in all the United States military. Marines respect that. When they yell corpsman up, a corpsman is supposed to, under fire, go to the front and provide aid to the fallen Marine, stabilize him, and get him out of harm's way. That's the basic job of a hospital corpsman. And let me tell you, I've never had to do it, okay? I am not one of those guys, but I'm proud to be affiliated with those kind of people, because the nerves of steel it would probably take to do something, it's pretty impressive, and wouldn't you say that's why they let Docs in to the Marine Riders?
Yes, that's one of the main reasons. We don't have our own medic as Marines, and so that's where Doc steps in.
Yeah, you use Navy medical.
That's where he steps in.
So the ones that go into the field with the Marines are definitely not POs. people other than grunts, right?
Yep, that's exactly
Yeah,
right.
so that's a little bit backstory on why they let Navy corpsmen into the Marine Rider clubs.
Hey, I'm Euchre. A little bit about me. I grew up in a small town called Niles, Michigan, and then moved around a bunch from there. Eventually went to Penn High School. From there, shortly after, I joined the Marine Corps, where I was in the Marine Corps for about 8 years. During that time, I was an 0311 for roughly 3.5. Was an instructor down in South Carolina for a little while, and then also a recruiter. A little bit after service, got out, just like every other infantry guy, went contracting for a little bit, found out it wasn't my thing, moved back to my hometown, kind of just looking for people to like-minded individuals. Ended up stumbling upon the Marine Riders, reached out to them, and here I am. Best decision I've made.
Hey, my name is Doc. I'm going to be hosting this podcast here with my buddy Euchre. A little background about myself. I was born in South Bend, Indiana. I moved out to California as a kid. My sister had medical issues, cystic fibrosis, so we were told to move to a drier climate. We lived out there for about 3-4 years until she passed, and we moved back to South Bend, where I was raised. On the south side of South Bend. I went to Riley High School, played football, wrestled, played hockey. After high school, I was fortunate enough to get a college scholarship to play football, where I went to Southeast Missouri State for 2 years and played at JUCO level, and then went on to Southeast Missouri State, where I played a couple more years. After that, we won't go into all of that, but after that, I joined the Navy because I wanted to be in the medical field, because I thought I'd be able to get a job once I got out of the military. So I went to corpsman school. Then after that, if you scored 95 or better, then you got to go on to the sea school. So I went to laboratory school down in San Antonio, Texas. It's an Army base, and they had an Army and Navy there as well. While I was there, when I told you the other day, I got orders. You know, you got your dream sheets and stuff. And I had orders to Jacksonville Medical Research Facility. And I thought, okay, hot dog, here we go, right? I'm on my way. This was part of my plan. Well, a week before I graduated, the chief pulled me in the office. And he said, due to the needs of the Navy, your orders have been modified. And I said, what the hell does that mean? He said, well, you probably won't be doing much lab work, and you're going to combat ready units. And before you get there, you got to go to Camp Pendleton and train with the United States Marine Corps. I went to Guam for a year where I learned how to dive. Until you dive on a moray eel at night in the reef. And we were all taking dive class. And so we thought we'd go snorkeling at night. This one guy had a saltwater light, you know. And we went out to a local bar, had a few beers and stuff. And we went out and made a half circle and we're cruising along the reef. And it's only about chest deep, but there's coral and everything just this far below the surface. So you're just skimming across the top of it. And some guy had a light, and a moray eel came out at that light with all of its teeth and then zapped back into the hole. Brother, you want to talk about thinking you can walk on water with flippers. When I got out, I worked in a blood bank in Chicago for a few years until I decided that really wasn't for me. But then when I moved home, I found the Marine Riders when I moved back to South Bend. And they befriended me and told me that, I could join. And I never thought I could join, They said, yeah, we'll let Corman in. And I thought, well, cool. And I started hanging around, and I came in here for the first time, and this place blew me away. I mean, the history, the camaraderie of this club, the brotherhood, those are all things that I wanted.
That was the same thing I was looking for.
So this place is a special place, and we hope we can kind of share that with everybody out there. That's the things we do. Troop Town. Troop Town is housing that we are building for vets that are down and out and need a place to live. It's not just Marine Riders by any stretch of the imagination. It's the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association. It's the American Legions. All these people are pooling together so that we can do something like that for our community. And so I think that's a pretty special thing that we're doing besides riding motorcycles.
Yes,
So if you like this, please like and subscribe, and we're going to have a comment section where you can leave comments. We'd love to hear your feedback. If you know anybody that would like to come onto our show and talk about their time in the service, we're looking for those things. And it can be Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines. It doesn't just have to be Marine Corps. Okay, so we'll be talking about things like that. We might do some stories about some Marine Corps legends. Talk on here about Carlos Halfcock, Ira Hayes.
There you go. Chesty
Puller. What were some of the other ones that got up in the back? So we got about 6 of them that we're thinking about, paying some respects to. So yeah, that about sounds like a wrap for today, I think. Maybe, what do you think? You got anything else you want to talk about right now?
Other than the poker run, Iron Blood, we talked about,
Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. We're going to have features coming along, which will be about an hour and a half segments. These are some just little shorts we're throwing out there right now to see if people are interested in this, and we'll take it from there. See you next time. Bye-bye.